Did you know that healthcare companies, clinic therapists, and private medical practices are hiring medical virtual assistants from all over the world, especially in 2026? And this has been a trend since the start of the year. And I think the reason why maybe you clicked on this video is because you want to be a medical virtual assistant and you don't know where to start. You have zero information about it. You've had people are working as medical virtual assistants and maybe you haven't gotten your way through it. So maybe it might be the best video for you, or you might learn something or a two, even if it's not the best video for you. Anyway, I believe it's the best video for you. So the best part of this is that many of these roles do not require you to be a nurse or a doctor for you to be a medical virtual assistant. In today's video, I'm just going to show you what exactly a medical virtual assistant does, the skills you need to break into this growing career remotely, and then how to get started even if you have no healthcare background, and where to find the legitimate medical virtual assistant job. So if you're looking for a stable remote career with a long-term growth, this video is for you. If you haven't decided on what you want to do, maybe you can consider being a medical virtual assistant. Thank you so much for coming onto my YouTube channel. Thank you for tapping on this link and actually having to just take your time to watch whatever it is that I'm about to say. I want to welcome those who are joining us for the first time. My name is John Patla, I'm a project manager, and I work also as a remote work consultant. Maybe you can just go down on my video to be able to see what I've been able to do on this channel. The other thing that I normally do, I record content actually on this YouTube channel just to educate people more on remote work. So if you're coming in and you haven't subscribed, I would wish that you just subscribe. Hit the subscribe button on the down there. We're on the road to 400, guys. 400 for subscribers. So I know that we can get to 400. We have like around 50. By the time I'm recording this video, I think we have around 60 or 55 people to get to 400. So you can be among those 55 that will get us to 400 subscribers one step at a time. All right. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. I'm checking all these things so that you can be able to subscribe. All right. So let's begin our video. What is a medical virtual assistant role? So a medical virtual assistant is often called as the MVA. I know you've had MVA everywhere. And this is a remote professional who provides actually administrative and operational support to healthcare providers. So the healthcare providers can either be doctors, can be dentists, can be therapists, they can be mental health clinics, they can be hospitals, they can be medical practices, healthcare startups, and insurance company, medical insurance companies to be very specific. So instead of working inside a clinic or a hospital, you work remotely using digital tool. You do the administrative work remotely using digital tools. So what are the common responsibilities that a medical virtual assistant may handle? The first one is that you need to know how to do appointment scheduling, that is scheduling patients and clients that are coming in. You need to know how to communicate to patients, so patient communication, and that means that you need to understand the medical term. There is email and calendar management because you'll be managing different doctors, dentists, nurses, or whatever person that you're going to work for. You're going to manage their email and their calendar. If you're going to learn medical records and management, you have to learn how to feed in the patient's medical records and how to manage that record so that they can be able to get the healthcare that they need. And then you're also going to learn how to do you're going to do insurance verification because most people are paying using insurance, and especially when you're working with people in Ireland, Canada, US, or UK. Most of these people pay for their healthcare using insurance. You're going to do patient follow-up, sorry, especially for patients who are sick and they might need follow-up, or they are on chronic illness and they have to take medication each and every now. Then you have to do patient follow-ups. And then there's also data entry. You enter data onto different platforms, that is the EMR system, and be able just to use this data for the betterment of the patient. And then you will also do referral coordination. Maybe a patient will come to a clinic and you are the one who's supposed to do referral to another facility. That might be your work. Customer support. A patient is a customer, is a client. They're bringing money into the business. So that means that you have to support them and you have to be a problem solver to their issues. Medical transcription. This is when the doctor was having a conversation with the patient and it was recorded in word form and in mouth or verbal form, and they would want you to do a word a word presentation, or they might want you to do a word document for whatever it is that was being said. Billing support, just to bill the patients and support them through that. And then the electronic health record updates. That is something that you can also consider doing. So, what does a typical day of a medical virtual assistant look like? It might involve, number one, by confirming the patient appointment. Number two, you have to answer patient inquiries. You have to update patient records now and then. And then you have to coordinate with healthcare providers, sending reminders, processing documentation. All this is required of you as a medical virtual assistant, depending on the place that you're going to work. So you become the administrative backbone that actually helps the healthcare professions to focus on their patient care and their patient practice, or their practice, so that you can be the administrative backbone for them. All right. So why is this career growing? I know you've had medical virtual assistant everywhere. People saying I'm a medical virtual assistant. People are shifting gears very fast. They are moving from being administrative virtual assistants to medical virtual assistants. Why is it that it's very growing? This is because most of the healthcare providers are now under pressure. They have been under pressure, but they didn't know that actually they can get an administrative assistant virtually to help them with these things. So healthcare providers are under pressure to reduce the operational costs, to improve the patient's experience, and to increase efficiency in their clinics. So hiring a remote support staff is going to help them to actually achieve all these three things. So there is also a huge rise in the telehealth. There is also a huge rise in online consultation. I mean, you guys know AI is here, and social media has caused a lot of disruption. And so there's a lot of telehealth, and there's a lot of online consultation. There's a lot of digital medical. Right now, actually, the medical records are being done digitally, in a digital way. That is what I want to say. And then there's a lot of healthcare technology. There's a huge rise of these things, these four things. That is the telehealth, the online consultations, the digital medical records, and then the healthcare technology. And this has created a significant demand in the medical virtual assistant role globally. So many healthcare organizations are now hiring remotely because they can access professionals worldwide. They can access actually talented professionals worldwide. So this means that for people in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in Latin America, uh, the opportunities are growing for them every now and then. Even those of you, I've said Africa, but those of you to narrow down, those of you in Kenya, in Nigeria, and those of you who are watching this video, wherever you are, what are the skills that you need for you to have as a medical virtual assistant? So let's talk about the skills that are going to be looked at, especially when you go for an interview as a medical virtual assistant. The most important skill is actually communication. You'll be speaking to patients, you'll be speaking to doctors, you'll be speaking to nurses, you'll be speaking to clinical administrators. So you need to know how to professionally write an email, clearly communicate in a verbal way, actively listen to whatever it is that is being said, because the doctor might have something to say, the patient might have something to say, the nurse, the administrators that are there might also have something to say. And then you need to have good customer service skills. You're going to work with patients, and you're going to be the front of the hospital or the medical practitioner that you're going to do. And so that means that you have to have good customer service skills. The other thing that you're going to, the other skill that you need to have is the administrative skill. So you need experience in calendar management, appointment scheduling, inbox management, document organization, and data entry as a whole. If you worked as an administrative assistant, or a customer service representative, or a receptionist, or an executive assistant, many of your skills are actually transferable. You can actually use these skills to go directly into medical virtual assistant. The third skill that you need to learn is the medical terminologies. You need to be a healthcare, you don't need to be a healthcare professional, sorry. You don't need to be a healthcare professional. However, you need really to understand the common medical terms that's to make you more competitive. Learn basics like diagnosis, treatment plan, patient records. I mean, this is the time you wanted to be a doctor. I know right now you are not even a patient because we can't afford our hospital, but you can now get an opportunity to actually learn some of these medical terms like diagnosis, treatment plan, patient record, medical abbreviations that most doctors use, and healthcare workflows. Most of these things are actually free and they are online. Especially if you're coming in from a medical background, I know you can actually be able to learn these things and be able to ace in the medical virtual assistant role. The other skill number 4 is that you need technology skills. most medical virtual assistants use Google Workspace, the Microsoft Office, Zoom for meetings with the company, Slack, the CRM systems, the electronic health record platforms. You need to know which EHRs are these for using. So an example include Epic, Career, Athena Health, and Sena. So you really need to learn these things. I'm going to, uh, I don't know if I'll put them up down here, but I hope that I'll put them down here so that you can be able to learn some of these platforms that you can be able to use in your career. So you don't need to master every platform before you apply the job, but you need to be very compatible with technology because it's going to be an essential thing for you to start out. The other skill number 5 is attention to detail. Healthcare requires accuracy. So a small mistake in scheduling, in documentation, in patient information can actually create a serious issue. So be very careful to be very attentive to every detail that you're going to be given with a patient or the doctor because you miss someone's health. So employers actually value people who are organized and detail oriented. I know you guys know this. The sixth thing is confidentiality and professionalism. So medical virtual assistant handle very sensitive patient information, and you must understand if the data privacy. You must understand the professional ethics, and you must understand its confidentiality. Trust is extremely important in healthcare, and that is why the HIPAA certification is very important when it comes to confidentiality. All right, great. So, how to get started with no experience into medical virtual assistance? How do you get started if you have no experience? If you're starting from scratch, here, it's just a simple roadmap. Number one is that please learn medical administration basics. So take a short course covering the medical technologies, medical administration, healthcare support, the HIPAA awareness. This is basically for US-based roles. So this can actually take you around 2 weeks to just learn the fundamentals of whatever it is that you need to learn. All right. And then number 2 step is that you need to build the relevant skills. So practice email management, practice how to schedule, practice data entry, practice customer service, practice Google Workspace. These skills are the skills that employers hire for. So you need to practice over and over again so that you can build the relevant skills that are required in the medical career. The third thing is to create a professional CV, an 8 years compliance CV. So highlight the transferable skills from the career that you have. If you had a career in customer service, you had a career in administration, if you had a career as an executive assistant, healthcare support or healthcare career as a whole, receptionist, call center work, whatever pattern thing that you're doing, highlight the transferable skills on your CV, the skills that you had in your career that you can actually use in this new career that you're getting into, and focus on achievements and the measurable results. All right. And then number 4 is that create a LinkedIn profile if you don't have one. Optimize it so that it can fit into the medical virtual assistant. Some of you have the LinkedIn profile, well and good. If you don't have, please create one. But also, if you have, make sure that it's well optimized. Have a well optimized LinkedIn profile. So, have a good headline that shows that you are a medical virtual assistant and you do administrative support, patient scheduling, healthcare operations. These recruiters search frequently for candidates. So, you need to put in the keywords that when they search, they're going to land on a LinkedIn profile. The step number 5 is that you need to build a simple portfolio. So this is where the mockup projects come in. You can go to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that I need a mockup project to help me to build a career in medical virtual assistant. Please give me some work or project that I can work on as if I'm working on clients. And ChatGPT is going to give you such things, and you need to work on and take screenshots until you get the results that you need to get out. And that is actually a portfolio out of that. So building a simple portfolio include examples include like, can you have a portfolio? In your portfolio, can you include, appointment scheduling workflow, calendar management samples, patient communication templates that you've used, and administrative process documentation that you've used. Those are just 4. You can include those ones. You can add more, or you can reduce depending on whatever it is that you need to reach. So this helps so that you can demonstrate your skills even with no direct experience. And that actually builds trust. If you're able to demonstrate experience, you're able to build trust out of that. Where do you find the medical virtual assistant job? I know most of you have really been waiting for this. So now let's talk about where to find opportunities. So there are many remote job boards that you can use. One of them is Glassdoor. You can actually also use Brandtalk. You can use LinkedIn. You can use 24/7 virtual assistant. You can use Ask Velma. You can use Hello Rashe. All these actually work out. You can use Babaka. You can use those platforms that I've mentioned. In case you missed out, I think this is a YouTube video. Just go back and listen to those sites so that you can be able to note them down. So when you go to this job site that I've just mentioned, please type in the different keywords that might land you to whatever it is that you're looking for. So type in medical virtual assistant. You can type in healthcare virtual assistant. You can type in patient coordinator. You can type in medical scheduler. You can type in medical administrative assistant. Whatever it is that you need to type in, just type in and it's going to lead you to land so that you don't keep on scrolling looking for a job that might be somewhere down there. All right. Other places that you can look for this is MedVA, Global Medical VA, My Mountain Mover, and I think I've also mentioned Hello Rashe. So you can actually look also for them at Hello Rashe. So healthcare companies, you can actually also apply directly to healthcare companies. You can apply to companies that deal with telehealth, companies that deal with medical practices, mental health clinics. I mean, you guys have a vast environment and places to work. So you can start with telehealth, you can do medical practices, you can do mental health clinics, you can do healthcare startups, you can do insurance providers, medical insurance providers, you can apply there because these are places that you can actually look for. And many companies actually post opportunities directly on their career pages. And so you really need to go just directly on their career pages and be able to see there. And then you can also network and reach out to people. Like if you want to work as a medical virtual assistant, by all means, you can start networking with owners of hospitals. You can start networking with doctors. You can start networking with nurses, people in that field, either on LinkedIn. You can join the virtual assistant communities because you might just get a doctor who has come to that community and they want a virtual assistant or healthcare administrative forum. So you have to join those groups. Many opportunities are shared before they even reach the job board. So you really need to know how to network and reach out to clients so that you can be able to watch out these opportunities from them. So if you're looking for a remote career with stability, growth, and global opportunities, becoming a medical virtual assistant is one of the smartest paths that you can consider. It pays so well, depending on your years of experience. And so it's one of the smartest careers that you can choose. You don't need a medical degree to get started. You only need to focus on building strong administrative skills. And then you learn the medical terminologies. And then you understand healthcare workflows. And you need to also position yourself as a reliable remote professional. The demand of the healthcare support professional continues to grow. That is the demand of the medical virtual assistant continues to grow. And this could be your opportunity to actually build a meaningful remote career if you don't know. If this video was actually helpful to you guys, thank you so much for getting to this point. I hope that this was so helpful to you guys. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment below. You want to get into medical virtual assistant and you don't know why. In June, I think we are running our clarity call offer. You can reach out to me and I can be able just to give you clarity on whatever you need. How to reach out to me directly? Just WhatsApp +254 758 869067. I'll repeat +254 758 869067. So just reach out to me on WhatsApp and we'll be able to help you through that. And let me know in the comment section by telling me which career you would want me to cover next. I've started with medical virtual assistant. Please tell me what is your career and what you would want me to cover next. And if you're interested in more videos about remote work, virtual assistant, making money online, subscribe to this video. Subscribe to this channel, guys, so that you don't miss out on the next one. All right. So thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. And bye. See you next week for a fun video that I have in store for you. Bye.